What's going on, everybody? Karate Kid Fanatics back here again. We have another very special guest, Shawn Bernal from the Cobra Kai Season 4 tournament. He was one of the competitors. So before, we get into Cobra Kai and some of your other past projects, how did you initially get into the acting, and like stunt business?
Stunts for the most part. I mean, like, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't consider myself like a working actor. Like sometimes I fall into acting jobs when I just randomly do, but I more so do pursue. I did a lot of martial arts growing up. Started around the generation of the Karate Kid movies, and just like a normal traditional family, I did go to school and all that, and like right when I graduated college, I actually did get like a film degree, so I was actually more so pursuing like a production, and but on top of that, I was always still studying martial arts and all that. And then as soon as I was done with college, I did move to California to try to pursue like production and try to get
Right.
production assistant work, and eventually just move my way up. But surprisingly, what happened, because I had like a long distance relationship at the time with my girlfriend, now my wife. Now, she was currently in Chicago, like because I went to school in Chicago, and I decided to actually come back to Chicago, just to be with her, and then we would make the decision and possibly, eventually getting married and moving maybe back to California or wherever.
Right.
But funny enough, the way the stunt business worked out, I randomly met this kid on a martial arts independent film forum, and he was just local in Chicago, and he was young. He was like still in like college at the time. I think he was maybe like a senior, and he just did kind of like a lot of videos like with his friends. So they were like more so like goofy, like choreography videos. And I'm like, they just looked like they had a lot of fun. So I just decided to hit them up one day and just to try it out. And then it felt a little weird, like I think with some of the other group members, because they were obviously like a lot younger than me, because I think I had like a 10-year difference in age.
Right.
Because I had been done with school for a while. But I'm gonna be honest, like hanging out with these guys, I kind of just felt young again, just having fun with these guys. And then like in the beginning, like we basically just made basic choreo videos. But then as we progressed, like over the years, it just got better. And then just with the small world with the internet, I mean, we kind of got recognized, and then eventually just people just started hiring us.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, long story short, it was mainly just YouTube. And then random stunt coordinators started hitting us up and just asking us like, it's really cool with what you do, but what are you actually guys trying to do? Like, are you trying to make a career out of this? Or are you just doing this for fun and all that? And then, quite a few of us did take the path of, making it a career. And, some people like, as I said, we're all from Chicago, but a lot of us had split up to like, Atlanta, Georgia, New York, Los Angeles. And that's, for the most part, that's pretty much how spread out we are now. So, but yeah, just overall, like, doing fights on YouTube, and then
that's awesome.
Started working from there. Yep.
Yeah. So when did you get contacted for Cobra Kai? Did you have to send in like any type of reels or anything? Or did they just contact you to ask you to come in?
Yeah, I typically submit to like almost every major production. That's kind of how it works with stunts. Like you kind of just find out who the coordinator is, and you just do a submission. And I'll be honest, dude, I've been submitting to Cobra Kai since season 2.
Yeah,
and I didn't get on until season 4. But it's a hilarious, because the main reason why I actually wanted to do it is I do have a funny story on this. During around the time when Cobra Kai happened, I was actually working on Hawkeye. It's like, I don't know if you're like a Marvel fan, but
I haven't seen Hawkeye, but I
and,
know of it. Yeah,
it's like a series on Disney Plus, and I had been out in Atlanta, Georgia for a while, like at least probably like a couple months, and it was just funny because I was just talking to my wife, and she was just asking me when I was going to come back, because I typically like live in both places, in Atlanta and Chicago.
Right.
And I just happened to be in Atlanta for a while because of Hawkeye. And then funny enough, like right after Hawkeye, I booked like something in Florida. Like I did like a commercial and then another TV series at the time. And finally, when that was done, I finally came home. But literally, I was only home for like 8 hours. And like, I get a text message from Jesse. Yeah, I get a text message from this guy. His name is Jesse House. And I don't know if you know who Jesse is, but basically Jesse's I think he's the assistant coordinator for Cobra Kai.
Okay.
But he's also Ken. That's Ken Bearfield. Yes, he's the main stunt coordinator. Yeah, so Jesse, I think, is assistant coordinator, but he's also the double for Johnny as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he randomly texted me and just asked me like, if I was available and all this stuff. And I was available, but the only thing is I had just gotten back to Chicago.
Right,
And I'm
right,
like, well, and they're like, when do you need me? And I kid you not, this was like 10:30 in the morning. And like, well, we need you before 4 p.m. in Atlanta to do a COVID test. Because that's like a big thing with
right,
productions now, because we got to test like 3 or 4 times before we actually work.
right.
And especially during that time, that's like the heart of, like it's gotten a little bit better, but these is like, I mean, during that time, we used to test at least 4 times. So
Right.
I had asked them, like, is it possible, like, because they wanted me for 2 weeks on Cobra Kai at the time. And I was asked if it was possible just to do like the second week or whatever. And
Yeah,
he was like,
yeah,
no, like you kind of like, we're doing this thing where people are getting established the first week and then we're going to do the stunt stuff the next week. And I actually said no because it was just a huge hassle, like, just to get down there that quick.
right.
And, because it was like 10:30 and like, if I was to actually go, I would have to hit a noon flight to get back to Atlanta.
Damn.
And it was already 10:30. So,
Yeah, that's gonna be
so I
rough.
actually did say no. And then it's funny. Yeah. And what was funny is like, because I train a lot of stunt people in Chicago. And that at like not high, I'm not doing it. Just let me know. Like, just get your stuff. We'll go to the airport
Right.
now. And like literally, I just sucked it up. I actually canceled my private and then I grabbed all my stuff.
Yeah.
I threw everything. I didn't even pack it correctly. I just threw it in a car. Like I was packing on the way to the airport for the most part. And then deadline to get my COVID 3:15.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then finally when I got in, thank God there was no traffic because traffic in Atlanta is ridiculous. And but thank God
Right.
I made it right in time to actually get the first COVID test done. So, and that's pretty much how I ended up getting that job for the most part. And like, as I said,
Yeah.
typically like we submit our reels and stuff like that and had shots. And like, and I guess they were interested in me. And I wasn't even quite sure what they were interested in having me do. Because usually like a lot of these jobs, you don't really know what you're doing until like you actually get there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
So, were you there for like the full 2 weeks of the filming?
um not the full like I think it was like it was like anywhere from 2 to 3 days per week.
Okay.
So and like as I said, like the first week was more just establishing like like the Carrie Underwood scene and stuff like
Right.
that. Like they just wanted to kind of just get all the competitors in there. Like we definitely did a lot more than they actually showed in the actual
Right.
cut of it because they usually cut like a lot of it. But just even us just lining up and like like Miyagi Do and Eagle Fang and all them coming in. Like they shot like a bunch of different angles of them just coming in. But as
Oh
you
yeah.
know, like when you watch the show, it's like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So yeah, going into your fight scene, what was it like, getting to have, a recreation of one of the, Daniel's moves from the original film?
well, funny enough, that wasn't originally planned because the original choreography, because they had me working with Demetri the first day, just to kind of more so prep it. And
Right.
the final move itself, he was supposed to do like a front thrust kick, and I was gonna do like I don't they call it like a face plant. It's kind of like when you get kicked in the chest and you kind of shoot your legs out and you fall like on
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
front. And like I was actually super excited to do that because I do that a lot in independent stuff, but I haven't really had the chance to do that like kind of like a big show.
Right.
So I was actually super excited to do that. But then literally, I think on the day that we shot it, I guess the producers said that they want to change it and reference the first fight from
Yeah.
Karate Kid. So, but yeah, it was just a very minor change because everything else was fine. They did cut most of the fight out though that we
Right.
actually did, like
That
in the actual
sucks.
final cut. Yeah, but I don't know if you've seen my actual YouTube video. Like that's the
The
majority of the fight
extended, yeah,
itself.
I seen the extended
Yeah,
cut. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, thank God that I had somebody randomly on the sidelines actually shoot that, and then I was
Yeah.
able to kind of slightly edit it out and make it look like the full fight.
Yeah. So, what was it like, getting to perform in front of like, did they have like all the people in the stands when y'all were filming the
Yeah,
match?
yeah. There were tons of people. I mean, as many as people as you've actually seen in the actual series. Yeah, there was that many people. I mean, I can't really determine how many overall. There were definitely, I don't know, maybe 200-300 people or so.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of extras. Yeah, for sure. So no, it was fun. I mean, it actually felt like being at a tournament. I used to compete like when I was a teenager. So I mean, it
Right.
kind of had that same feeling for the most part. Um, they shot a lot of fights that day though. I think in total, because as I said, they cut a lot. I mean, I kind of feel bad for some of the people that actually had their fights cut. I
Oh
was
wow. Yeah.
luckily one that actually like made the cut, even though they didn't put the whole thing. but I think they shot a total of like 13 or 14 fights total that day.
Yeah.
So
If I'm not mistaken, you were supposed to be in Vidal's old dojo, Locust Valley, at first, though, right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like
yeah. I thought I seen
no,
that.
yeah, it was funny because no, because in the beginning, like we have like our call sheets and stuff like that, and it actually literally says like what teams we're on.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
like just on the day, like, because I'm in my trailer, I don't have my gear or anything yet. And finally they give me my gear. I'm like, well, this isn't St. Locust, it's a Smash.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're like, it doesn't really matter at this point. Like they didn't
Yeah.
really even show our logos like when we're fighting them anyway. And as you know, since it's like the montage, like you don't really see like the details or anything.
Right.
But it would have been cool because then like I could have just joked around saying that I was Vidal's son or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping they'd bring him back. Like I remember seeing like someone like posting like the patch, and I was hoping they'd bring him back, but they didn't.
It would make sense that at least it was some sort of cameo,
Yeah, for sure.
because they keep referencing him like so many Cobra and
Yeah.
like how they
Yeah.
indicated that Tommy actually beat Vidal before he fought Johnny. Like they referenced him quite a bit, so they might
Oh
as well
yeah.
just at least bring him in just for at least like an episode. So, and just considering that, I mean, like technically his dojo was in both um season 1 and 4. Like if you actually look
Right.
closely at the logos. So and it's funny because it's like I was kind of joking with some of the other people. I wasn't quite sure why it's called Locust Academy because like it says Locust Academy, but it's a picture of a praying mantis.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never really. You figured it'd be a locust, but
So yeah, yeah. So I kind
yeah.
of had an ongoing joke with just a bunch of the
Yeah.
other stunt performers. Like, yeah, that doesn't really make any
Yeah.
sense, but whatever.
Yeah. What was your overall favorite part of that filming process?
I'll be honest, the Carrot Underwood thing nobody knew about, so that was
Yeah.
actually just fun in general. Because I mean, like to tell you the truth, I don't think any of the actors even knew that she was
Right.
coming. So they got like a free concert. Like, I think they had her sing. Actually, yeah, they literally had her sing the song. I think like 4, maybe 5 times at most, just to get different angles. Like they would shoot
Right.
it one way, and everyone would be dancing a certain way, and then other times, like they would just do different reactions from the crowds of just her singing
Right.
it. So, yeah, that was an interesting moment. Just getting to know Gianni was fun. I mean, he seemed like a
Oh
cool
yeah.
kid, super young. Um, yeah, and the most memorable thing about him was funny because like towards the end, because like I met with Daniel and Ralph Macchio and
Yeah.
talk and all them and bragging about and mainly because Gianni's like ridiculously tall. Like I think he's like maybe 6'3", 6'4", something like that.
Yeah.
He's
He's
actually a pretty
fairly
tall
tall,
kid,
absolutely.
and not yeah, and I'm only like 5'7".
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then like he was like trying to brag like to the other actors, like he's like, hey, my guy's like super short and he could kick over my head. and
Yeah.
then and then they were kind of bickering at each other, like who had a better like stunt guy that they were fighting and all that. It was actually
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Yeah. Going away from Cobra Kai for a minute, what films, inspired you to get into martial arts and I guess, stunt performing now?
My generation, I mean, it was more so like in the 80s. Most people were probably inspired by the Bruce Lee movies. Like most probably favorable was like Enter the Dragon. Tell you the truth, Karate Kid was a big one too. And then obviously Chuck Norris was a big one as well. It's really funny though because like I was a huge Bruce Lee fan when I was like little, like around 6 years
Right.
old, and I started taking martial arts pretty young. And there was a small period where it's not that I lost interest. I was just young things that I wanted to do. I took maybe like 2, maybe 3 years off and became like got really into skateboarding at the time. And this is like during the time like Tony Hawk wasn't really like a big deal. Like he's a huge deal now.
Right.
Like
Right.
nobody really,
Yeah.
and it's not that nobody cared about Tony Hawk then. Like nobody really cared much about skateboarding as much then.
Right.
So like, I just really got into that, and that was just a thing. But hilarious enough, my brother had like a sleepover with some of his friends, and they rented Bloodsport.
Oh
And to
yeah.
tell you the truth, it was actually Bloodsport that like got me interested in like studying again. So and then I just became a huge Van Damme fan, and then I just stuck with it since then. And I've pretty much been training till this day.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm not really with a school anymore. I mean, every once in a while, like, because I'm like one of their instructors and like I go to like certificate parties and like, for rankings and stuff like that. But
Right.
for the most part, most of my training is based on like stunts and fighting and stuff like that.
So for you as a stunt performer, what is the craziest stunt you've done?
I haven't done anything like jumping off buildings or anything like the harsh ones are like taking like long wire poles and like hitting concrete
Right.
and stuff like that. Um, I've definitely done a lot of the stuff with Transformers with like a lot of
Right.
explosions and stuff like that. Sometimes like you just never know what some like especially some of these Michael Bay movies, like you just never know what debris that's coming at you. Because sometimes
Oh
like
yeah.
you would think that it's safe. It's sometimes it's not as safe as
Yeah.
you think sometimes. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I haven't done anything crazy like a car hit or anything like that. But I've done like wire work hitting the ground and stuff like that. But most forte, like I usually like doing fight scenes.
Yeah. So I've you've worked for DC and Marvel. For you as a fan, which do you prefer, Marvel or DC?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, like obviously, usually most people would think that the Marvel films are just doing better, just in
Oh
general.
yeah.
I mean, as you can see, I'm wearing the Superman hat. I'm a huge Superman fan. I'm not super happy with the direction like DC has definitely been going these days. But
Right.
I mean, I still love Henry Cavill. I mean, like as Superman and all that. But I'm still like a Christopher Reeve fan. I don't know. I know you're very young. I don't know if you watched the original Superman movies,
I haven't
but
seen them now.
oh yeah, yeah. So Christopher Reeve was my Superman growing up. So like it's a little hard to find a replacement for that.
Did you get to interact with Carrie Underwood at all? I know you were there
No,
doing your fight. All
no,
right.
no, not at all. To be honest, not really. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, once again, I didn't even know she was even showing up, and she just randomly showed up. And then like after she got done like singing, then like yeah, she just left.
For you, what was your favorite role other than Cobra Kai that you got to perform on?
My favorite role in general, it's a tough one. In terms of like a cool experience of being on set, not necessarily of what I'd done, Batman versus Superman was a lot of fun.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if did you actually see Batman versus Superman?
Yeah, I've seen Batman vs Superman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like the really fun one was that nightmare scene, where
Right.
like he's in the desert. Yeah, so like I actually got to play like both one of the Superman soldiers and then also one of the
Oh
guys from
wow, yeah.
Batman's side as well. So that was overall like a cool experience. Just to even just to be able to see the Batman outfit, I was like, in my head, I was going nuts. But you're not supposed to show
Oh
that. You have
yeah,
to
you
be
gotta be
professional on set.
professional. Oh yeah.
Yeah, got to be professional on set. But I was like inside, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, that's the new Batman outfit or whatever. And just to see it with the leather coat and everything, that was just really cool.
Oh yeah.
And how they did that little
Absolutely.
twist. Um, Probably in terms of performance, I think one of my favorite ones is Daredevil. So far, because with that one, I was also relatively newer in the industry at the time, and like that was the first time I've ever been to New York because I don't know if you know
Right.
they filmed like all those shows like Jessica Jones,
Oh yeah,
Daredevil, Iron Fist,
absolutely.
and stuff like that. And I actually got flown out to New York to do that scene. Like he basically him and Elektra fight a bunch of triads. So, but once again, like I've never been to New York, so that alone was like just a cool experience overall. And then when we were actually doing a rehearsal, like my rehearsal was very, very simple. Like, like because you never know what you're gonna do in some of these scenes. And
Right.
uh the way it happened is like, I basically just do a couple punches and then take a hit, I fall and die. And like that's it. And literally
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
like all that was prepped like for like an 8-hour rehearsal. And then I talked to the fight coordinator on the day, and he's like, "Shawn, we change your part or whatever." And I'm like, "That's fine." I'm like, "Well, what did you change it to?" And I figured like maybe they just added a few things or maybe like another fall or something like that. And it turned out to
Right.
be like a 7 or 8 kick sequence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I was fine with doing that because I practice a lot of that stuff all the time. But I was just surprised that they gave me so much to do. Unfortunately, they did cut like half of it out, but I mean, it was still a good experience overall. Just because during that time, Daredevil was like the big show that everybody was
Right.
watching, and it was just I was very grateful for the opportunity on that one. So, but I
Yeah.
think yeah, probably between those two, Batman versus Superman and Daredevil were probably my favorite ones. Um, but I've also had the experience because I don't know if you watched Iron Fist at all.
I have not seen it. No.
Yeah, yeah. Iron Fist is it's a more martial arts based type series because like the character is kind of like kind of like almost like I don't know if you ever saw Shang-Chi. It's kind of like the Caucasian version of Shang-Chi.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, so like for that show, I lived in New York for a while because I actually did the run. I was part of the action team for that one. So like to tell you the truth, like it's not necessarily like because as I said, those other ones like were more like exciting. Big show, I learned because I was actually kind of like previs process is. But basically, what previs is when the stunt coordinator or fight coordinator they basically read the script, break it down, and they create the fuss around the script. And then like they shoot and edit that, and that kind of becomes like a pitch for like the producers, and they say this is what the fight's gonna look. And if they agree to that, then that's what pretty much the storyboard is for when they shoot
Right.
it. So the whole thing is like the process is they make these sequences with the stunt people, and then when the producers agree to do it that way, then we start training the actors. And there's also other part of the process I was with. Like it's just how actors perform. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was just saying like that's a tough one because you know how you say like don't meet your heroes. Sometimes I'm
Oh
afraid of
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, I'm a big fan of like Donnie Yen, you know, who played like the Ip Man character. Yeah, obviously
Right.
Jackie Chan. Jet Li, I think, is more so retired now, but that would have been cool as well. Like
Right.
some of the Asian heroes that would have been fun overall.
Yeah. So, for you from a fan perspective, when it comes to Cobra Kai, what team are you on?
For real life or acting
Yeah, like you personally, like as an individual.
as an individual. As an individual, probably Miyagi Do because that's probably more my actual personality itself.
Right.
But it's fun to play villains. So
Oh
I
yeah,
would definitely be
absolutely.
I would love to actually be on the Cobra Kai team on the show.
Yeah. What'd you think of Terry Silver's return?
No, it was cool. I mean, no, I was excited for it. You know, a lot of people weren't a fan of Karate Kid 3. I mean, I didn't mind it so much.
Yeah.
I was totally wrong. I kind of had a theory about something with Terry Silver because I was not sure about it, but it made a lot of sense that but I get it with the age, with how old he is, it wouldn't make sense. But I had a theory that Terry Silver was Miguel's father.
Yeah. A lot of people thought
Yeah,
that for sure.
yeah, and like mainly because the mom kept saying like you know he was a bad man, blah blah blah, and they referenced that so many times, like
Oh
throughout
yeah,
like other
absolutely.
seasons. And I'm like, it's got to be Terry Silver. It's got to be, and of course it wasn't in the end.
Yeah. I'm excited about Chosen coming back again though. I think that's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
yeah, for sure. I'm kind of interested to see how they're really going to write that. So I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have like I know some people that have worked on the show, but I don't really know much of the ends of like what
Yeah.
the actual story is. So
Yeah. Because I mean, like Daniel and Johnny aren't really allowed to teach anymore, so I wonder if Chosen it's gonna have to be under him or how it's gonna work.
I guess when you think about it, that yeah, that just makes sense. Like basically, Chosen would be running Miyagi Do. I don't know what they're gonna
Yeah.
do with Johnny though. So
Well,
yeah, I'm not
he's
sure.
running. He's going off to Mexico. So I mean, I hope I don't mind the Mexico storyline, but I hope it's not like more than 2 or 3 episodes.
I don't think it's too long because they were in because they shot the scene in Mexico and Puerto Rico,
Right.
and to my knowledge, I think they were only there for 1 week.
Okay.
Because I actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I did. You know, I did meet some of the people, you know, that were on it. So like, if they were only on it for 1 week, I don't see them
It shouldn't be
actually.
nothing crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But everyone was excited to try to figure out who Miguel's father was, and apparently, like, it's not like a huge star
It's
that's
just a
here.
new
Apparently,
actor.
well, apparently it's a big Mexican actor. I don't know
Yeah.
his name or anything, but
I've
it's
seen the
somebody that's big. And, yeah,
I've seen the pictures. I can't remember the dude's name though off the top of my head.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think about some of these other characters possibly returning? Mike Barnes, Julie Pierce. I mean, all some of these other people that may come in.
I mean, it's all going to make sense if Mike
Yeah.
Barnes comes back. I mean, I don't know for sure if he's coming back. Um, I think everybody wants that, and I'm assuming, I would hope that the producers are just,
It's 99.9% chance. There's a
yeah,
lot
I
of
think the
stuff come
producers are
out.
probably going to give the fans what they want. It might be a little early for Julie Pierce,
Absolutely.
um, but you just never know. I mean, they pretty much hinted that there's a strong possibility that she can come back, and it would make sense. Because at first I thought, Hillary Swank, like, she's like I mean, she's definitely won like Academy Awards and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
she's
So I didn't know if like she might be too big for the show or something like that. But I
yeah,
just noticed that she's been doing other things and even like Netflix movies and stuff like
yeah,
that. So yeah, she's probably coming back. I think
yeah,
my main concern is Miguel getting too famous
yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, because he's the Blue Beetle. So I'm just coming to wonder how much longer he's going to stay in Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I really don't see it going past 6 seasons.
Oh, just in general.
I mean, I don't know if it's a possibility. I wonder if they brought in all these new characters. Some of the older guys. They may go off to college. They may bring them in and continue it. But I know they have it outlined up to 6 seasons is what the original plan
Yeah,
was.
they I've been reading some other articles and they've been talking about possibly doing spin-offs. So
Oh yeah, they'll definitely.
I don't know where that would really go. I mean, maybe like a Miyagi-Do series or something like that. I mean, I'm not sure. Or like maybe the Binary Brothers
Yeah,
series or
yeah,
something like that. That'd be funny. So I mean, like I actually really like on how they wrote Demetri to be like, he's definitely more straight up now.
right.
Like more confident. And then same with Hawk. I like how you know what? It's funny because I know Hawk didn't like the way I mean the actor, what's his name? I forgot
Jacob,
his actual yeah, Jacob. Like I think I read somewhere that he actually enjoyed more so being on Cobra Kai and just playing a villain.
right.
But I actually do like how they wrote it. Like, I mean they kind of like, because he didn't have any confidence in the beginning and then he kind of became an asshole and
Yeah,
then he
yeah,
became good. So like I just really like how they
absolutely.
did that angle on that. But then once again, and it's interesting too, with Demetri. Funny enough, like people because I didn't know who I was fighting because they told me that I was gonna fight somebody in the tournament. And then later
Right.
on I found out it was Demetri. And believe it or not, Demetri was the main person I wanted to fight.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
people ask me like why not Robbie or why not Miguel? And like you gotta look at it from a stunt person's perspective. Because from a stunt person's perspective, the way I was looking at it, I was fighting the weakest, like according to season 1 through 3. Like, like
yeah, yeah.
Dimitri was the weak guy. He was like, like kind of like not dumb. He was like a smart nerd, but like kind of weak. So the
Right.
thing is, like, yeah, my look at it is if I'm fighting this guy and I'm able to make the weakest link look strong, that means I did
Yeah,
my job.
absolutely. For our
Oh,
quote,
favorite
yeah,
Bloodsport scene. Oh,
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Um, Probably the most when I was a young kid, I used to rewatch over and over the Paco scene when Van Damme's like, come on, and then
Yeah.
back and forth. Yeah, that was probably my favorite scene then. Um, but like in terms of wanting to study martial arts again, it was Van Damme's helicopter kick at the very end, which
Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah,
that's what got me to probably start taking martial arts. Just seeing that.
absolutely.
Yeah, and it's so funny that they keep referencing that movie now in Cobra Kai. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, it
Yeah.
come to wonder like if Van Damme's ever gonna like make an appearance like as Van Damme, that'd be actually
Oh,
kind of cool. Like maybe
I'd
the
love to
next
see
All
that.
Valley, yeah, maybe like the next All Valley tournament, like he'll be like the MC or something like that. That'd be kind of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, yeah. So, last question. What is your next goal? In the industry. Something maybe you want to work on, or just something you'd like to achieve.
Well, the biggest bucket list is to produce like a feature. Um,
Right.
it's definitely takes a lot. I mean, definitely takes money. Definitely write a script and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, that's probably and it doesn't have to be like a super high budget movie.
Right.
But just overall, yeah, just write and produce a feature itself.
Yeah.
In terms of the stunt business, just to keep working. I mean, because I mean, as
Absolutely.
I don't know how
Absolutely.
I don't know how much you know about our business. It's a tough business just to
Oh
keep,
yeah.
because like,
I'm sure.
because you can be working on something for, because as I said, like, I was on Hawkeye for, a couple months and then I did, those 2 other jobs and then Cobra Kai. And then there was like a
Right.
slight freeze of like not working.
Right.
And
Right.
then like, you just never know what comes up. I mean, stuff has come up since then, but like sometimes you just never know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah. And it's not so much more that people aren't good at what they do. It's more so like the demand for the look or what kind of movies are out and the stuff like that.
Right.
Because like I love doing the martial arts stuff, but I mean that's definitely not the majority of the stuff that I do. Because that's
Right.
not there aren't that
There's not
many
a ton of
TV
martial arts
series.
stuff anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Not the
there's like stuff
'80s.
that demands martial arts, but yeah, there's like, I mean, because there were like 3 shows at the time. You remember like Into the Badlands, which is canceled. You have Warrior, which is like this Bruce Lee inspired series that's on HBO Max. I think they
Okay.
finally greenlit the new series for that. And then you also had Iron Fist, but that was canceled as well with all the other Netflix shows. So they're really, but they also have one Kung Fu series on the CW, but that's actually
Okay.
shot in Canada, so I don't think I'll be able to work on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just want to thank you for coming on. It was great to be able to talk with you about, your experiences and your career overall.
Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, I'm happy that you're doing these things. I've looked at a couple of your other podcasts; they're pretty good, dude. I'm gonna be honest, dude. Like, I mean, the biggest one that I was surprised at is the Vision Quest one, and you're so young to actually know Vision Quest. Yeah, that movie was definitely made before you were born.
Oh yeah, and, Vision Quest, the classic.
Yeah, that's one of those movies I kind of slightly want them. It has to be done right, but I do want them to remake that movie. So, because the thing is, there are certain aspects of that movie that kind of just don't work anymore.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's a really good story, and technically, when you think about it, it's a lot. Besides, like, there's no bullying in it. It's kind of slightly like a Karate Kid story about a guy that just like an under guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he said he wants to get it done, but with film, it's hard to get stuff done. I mean, because you'd have to get probably Matthew Modine back, and it's just he's went on to do big things as well. So it's
it'd be kind of cool maybe if Matthew Modine either plays like the father or even the coach or something. Yeah, like
coach
that.
versus
kind
coach
of cool.
or something.
Yeah, or maybe it's Matthew Modine's kid or something like that. Yeah, you never know. There's limitless possibilities on like what you can do with that. So, but just in general, I know you're a wrestler, which is awesome. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I kind of wish I wrestled in high school because I would definitely be able to do a lot more. But like, there really aren't that many wrestling movies.
Yeah.
So, I think the most previous one, I think I messaged you about it, American Wrestler. That's actually a really good one. So if you have the chance to watch that one, that one's good. Yeah, that one's good. I don't know if you ever saw Win Win. That was a good one too.
I haven't seen. I've seen Vision Quest and one other one that sucks. So I was just kind of like, there's like a horrible one with John Cena.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think that might be actually called like The Wrestler or something like that. So I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But nothing is top Vision Quest. But that's also another reason why I want them to remake it. So we'll see what happens. You never know.
For sure. And again, it's great to be able to speak with you. Keep us updated what you got going on, and we'll make sure to check it out and share everything.
Yeah, for sure. Just keep in contact with me on Facebook. I'll be around for sure. All right.
Well, appreciate it.